today of being able to videotape our mayor, Jim Nix, who's been mayor for 20 years, and we just want to get Jim to tell us about how he got to Fairhope and what he did after he got here.
Well, we moved here in 1955. My parents, my father was working at Brookley Air Force Base, and this was closer to his work than where we had been living in Robertsdale. I was born in Robertsdale in 1937, and of course I fell in love with Fairhope immediately. And 1968 I decided to run for city council at the time and got involved with city council. And one of the things I always remember about my 4 years on the council, we was meeting where the City Hall was where the old police station is now, where the police station is now located, and we would meet upstairs, and our council meetings didn't start till 7 o'clock in the evenings then. And I remember one night we were gone on real late with one of the council meetings, and one of the prisoners down below in the jail was trying to go to bed, so he started beating on the floor to tell us to shut up so he could go to sleep. But what prompted me to really run for mayor, I guess, was the fact that our infrastructure was in terrible shape and needed some complete overhaul. So in 1972 I ran for mayor and was elected, and have been mayor ever since.
So it's been more than 20 years. You're on your 24th?
Going in my 23rd year.
23rd year. Okay. Okay, so tell me what made you decide to run for city council?
Well, I just wanted to become involved in the community. I thought there was a lot of things that could be done that wasn't being done, so I wanted to become involved, and I did. And I felt like after serving 4 years on the council, I could do a better job as mayor, so that prompted me to run for mayor.
And what was your first project in Fairhope? What did you start out doing?
Well, the first thing we had to do was completely rebuild our infrastructure. I used to hate for Monday mornings to roll around, because there'd be always 2 or 3 ladies in the office with a jar of rusty water, saying that their laundry had been ruined with rusty water, and it was a mess. And so we had to completely rebuild our water system. We put in new wells. We put in did away with the rusty water that we had and put in new wells, new lines. Did away with the old reservoir that was in back of the civil defense centers now, where the old reservoir used to be.
And where is that?
Well, the building right behind the police station is a civil defense building. That was just an open reservoir where the water was stored. Had a tin roof over that had screen around the top. The screen had rusted off, and the squirrels would get in there, and the birds would get in there, and that's where our water was coming from.
Oh, great!
It was really you wouldn't have drank it if you had seen the mess it was in. So we did away with that, rebuild the water system. We had to rebuild the sewer system completely. We built a new sewage treatment plant.
What did it have before it was rebuilt? I remember when it was rebuilt, but I don't remember what.
Well, we had an old filter system that more or less just filtered things through the rocks, and it was, in its day, it was a good system, but it was completely overloaded and out of date, and was not working properly. So we were basically just straining the water and sending untreated sewer to the bay, to be honest with you. So we completely rebuilt that, built a new system that's still doing well today. Our electric system was overloaded and out of date, so we had to go in and we didn't have any equipment. We were still digging the holes to put the power poles in by hand. You would take somebody out with a post hole digger and a jug of water and his lunch, and they'd stay there all day digging one hole in some cases. And so we bought an auger truck and updated our equipment, updated our electric system. Mm-hmm. So first few years we had our hands full upgrading our infrastructure, getting it into proper order.
Mm-hmm. And so about '80, I guess you had all that done.
In the late '70s, we had most of our infrastructure in good condition. We had to do a lot of work on our gas system too. We had all those things in good system, so then we could start turning our attention to other things. And then about that time, 1979, we had a visit from Hurricane Frederick that really
That's right.
set us back for, really it was a couple of years before we could get things really back like they were before the storm, because of all the cleanup afterwards. So that really took a lot of our time.
That was really, I was not living here, but I came down right after Frederick, and I never saw so much stuff lying around.
Well, it was certainly devastating in so many ways. We were very fortunate that we didn't have any loss of life here in Fairhope, but we did have a lot of physical damage which we could repair, so we were fortunate in that respect. But took us back, and then after that we started moving and doing the things that you could see and appreciate more. We built this complex we're in now was the Dale Champ Shopping Center, and they had just built a new one out on the corner of Greeno and Morphy. And
Fairhope. Oh, okay. They moved to Morphy first.
Yes,
Okay.
they first moved out to Morphy and Greeno, and this center was just deserted more or less. The colony shop was still here on this end, and there was a Harco drug down on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it was basically deserted. So we was able to purchase this from the Dale Champs employees fund, really, and for $400,000, and Dale Champs contributed $50,000 to us, and that with most of the money we borrowed, we was able to renovate this entire complex for about $1 million, which has really been a great help to the city of Fairhope.
Absolutely.
And of course, we moved City Hall down here in 1984. City Hall, as I stated previously, and I guess I'm jumping around, we had been over at the where the police station is now, and we moved there, and from there in 1970, I believe, over to where the Colonial Bank is located now on Fairhope Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed there until 1984 when we moved down here to this complex that we're in right now.
Okay. So when did you start with the flowers?
That was, well, we really started trying to get started in the late 70s. Frederick set us back a great deal. Really started getting started in the early 80s, and doing things that people could see and appreciate. The Rotary Club donated the money that we bought the trees that we planted in the downtown area. We hired a horticulturist along about 1982, I believe, and really started doing things that people could see and appreciate. We landscaped the parking lot here at the Civic Center. We built the landscaped area on the north side of the beachfront park that, as you remember, had been a swampy area.
Yeah,
And made
yeah.
that into the nice little lakes there now where people can go and feed the ducks, and built a decorative bridge and the little waterfalls. And
I was just getting ready to ask you when you did that, because as a child it was all grown up in trees and brush.
and then it was, just a swampy area. You had a one-way traffic in there and out, and if you had a car in there, you couldn't get out. The other was trying to meet you. It was a real mess. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah.
Really wasn't used much.
No, it was a lot of it was inaccessible and not
That's
used
right.
at all.
We would drive down to the end where it was cleared, and then walk down
Walk
to
down
the
in
little
there.
spring and dam that up.
Right.
Is that artesian?
Yes. Well, I say artesian. It's filled from. It has springs that keep the little lake there full, and by putting a series of dams, we were able to create the lakes down there.
That's really nice.
That a lot of people have fun going down and feeding the ducks.
Mm-hmm. I take my grandchildren down every time they come.
But, you know, we just generally was doing a lot of the landscaping work during the 80s. The hanging flower baskets in the downtown area was added. The planters with the seasonal flowers planted in them, and then we built the trash cans with that
Oh, I love
created so
those.
much attention with the flowers growing on top.
That's a
And
wonderful thing.
first thing, we landscaped the corners of Fairhope and Section Street, put bricks in them. That was
Yeah.
the first area there, and then we have just moved on there into landscaping the other areas of town, and plus putting the bricks on the sidewalks.
Mhm. What do you see for the future now?
Well, I hope as far as the sidewalks, I hope we can continue in the downtown area with the brick project. There's a lot of interest still in that. People want to buy their own brick.
Yeah, I've bought 3, I think, and I'm debating about buying another one. I think it's really cute.
So
I
it's-
missed all that.
Pardon?
I said, I missed all that. Can you get into it yet?
Well, we're going to start another program where you can. That's a lot of people did and want to be involved in it. So it's been that was started as a centennial project,
Mhm.
and it has really been a popular project. Another thing we did in the late 80s was build the municipal golf course,
Oh yeah.
which has been a tremendous success. It's paying for itself, and it certainly is a great recreational opportunity for a lot of people.
My brother had lived most of his adult life in Iowa and Minnesota, and that's the main reason why he's down here now. Because of the golf course.
Well, you know, a lot of people are afraid it's going to be a financial burden on the city, and this was, you know, we were going to make sure that it wasn't, because we didn't want it become a financial burden. But it's not only it's not a financial burden. It's making money and paying for itself, and we're going to do some improvements on it this year. So it's a real fine facility.
Well, I was going to mention to you that I don't know if you know it, but my grandfather was one of the founders of Fairhope, and he wrote a letter to the Chamber of Commerce, had it all printed up. I mean, about he'd been to visit Orlando, and he came back raving about their library, and I think we must have had the colony had a library at that time.
Right.
Their library, and he also talked about an airport. He said an airship came and landed, but in Fairhope, but it had to land in somebody's pasture, and that he thought we really ought to have an airport.
Nobody yet has mentioned
The airport?
the field out there.
Oh, Clumps.
Glumfield?
Well,
That was the airport.
was before that. You know where the Baptist Church, the Fairhope Avenue Baptist Church is?
Yes.
Okay, it was behind that, and it was just a field, and they came and took people for rides.
Oh, how about
On
that?
Saturdays and Sundays, there'd be a big crowd out there waiting.
First airport I remember was the Clump
was not a
Airport out on
real
the corner of
airport.
27 and Fairhope Avenue.
Yeah,
Of course,
right.
then we built the small strip, municipal landing strip down on Marlow Road in the early 60s, I believe it was, and it's been expanded several times, and now we have a 6,600-foot runway down there that will accommodate just about any type plane that wants to land.
Mm-hmm. Would it accommodate a commercial jet, a large
Yes,
one?
yes. We've had some in there.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering how much it could take.
I don't think it would take it on a regular basis, but
Yeah.
occasionally they do.
Well, we don't get them here
We don't
on
get them on a regular
basis
basis either.
Okay. Well, that's quite an asset too.
But the thing that I think that I've been most proud of over the years, that we've been able to rebuild our infrastructure and add to the beauty and charm of the city, and we've been able to do this without adding any taxes.
That's right.
We're the only city in the state of Alabama that doesn't have a city sales tax. Our property taxes haven't been increased since I've been in office. So that's something I'm extremely proud of, that we've been able to do all this without having to increase our taxes.
That's amazing.
Am I correct in saying that the revenue from the beach is used for beautification down there and other places?
Yes, the revenues that we receive from the beach area in the summertime is used to help keep the area looking good. Yes.
So, where does the city get its money?
Well, very fortunately, the city owns its own electric system, its own natural gas system, its own water and sewer system. Fairhope, as I said, our electric system was in terrible shape, but we was able to rebuild it. It's an excellent system today. We're able to sell electricity to the citizens of Fairhope lower than they could purchase it from, say, Alabama Power Company. But at the same time, it produces income for the city. We have an extensive natural gas system that starts at Bay Minette city limits and covers most of the eastern shore. Our water system is the largest in Baldwin County. We serve everything south of Daphne down to Fish River, even on the other side of Fish River, the Marlow area.
Now that's all been, most of that has been expanded in during your
Yes,
tenure.
well, all of it has. We were mainly just in the city of Fairhope when I first came in. In fact, we were just in the city of Fairhope. They had a rural water system, West Baldwin water system at the time, that was operated independently of the city that we took over, and we have moved on into serving everything south of 104, all the way into the Marlow area, which is a great water system.
That is. That's pretty far away.
we can produce well over 6 billion gallons of water a day. And
6 billion?
6 million.
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 Okay.
And our average daily consumption is somewhere around 2.4 million.
Okay.
So
I'm learning all kinds of things about Fairhope.
well, we have a great city. We have a wonderful group of people, and that's the biggest asset that we have is the people, and because that's what makes a city, and the beauty and the charm of the area, along with the wonderful people that we have, make it, in my opinion, the best place in the country to live.
Well, I agree with you.
I was not surprised, but we had, some people compare Fairhope to Carmel, California, and I had a phone call from the president of the Chamber of Commerce out in Carmel yesterday. He had been through here and had seen our welcome center and was so impressed with it, he wanted me to send him a picture of it in the blueprints.
That's wonderful. I love that. I'm so glad you said that. Well, we captured it on tape now, and there's...
So we're preparing a picture for him and getting some blueprints together and going to send it out. And another thing I think the people of Fairhope can be proud of, and they are, is the fact that we have helped so many cities throughout the South to start their own beautification program.
Yeah, you can see it all over the county.
Because we led the way and set the example, and we've had just many cities in here to find out how we started our beautification program. Many of them have gone back and have been real successful in their own.
Let's talk about the other side of life, and that is the people of Fairhope who don't have what a lot of us have. Does Fairhope have any social service programs?
Well, we don't have a welfare department, if that's what you're talking about, but we do our senior citizen center. We have the bus there and the drivers there that take people that cannot get to the store or to the doctor. We take them to the store and the doctor and shopping. We deliver the homebound meals and do things like that.
So that's a city program?
Yes, a city program, yes.
Is that Bratz?
No, Bratz is different.
Bratz is
We
different.
have our own bus or a van. Now, we don't prepare the meals, but we deliver the meals that's prepared by the food program.
And do you contribute funds to other programs, maybe?
Well, we contributed funds this past year to the Boys and Girls Club that has really been a good program that gives a lot of activities to the disadvantaged. Gives them a great opportunity.
Very good. So, anything else you want to put in here?
Well, I think Fairhope has a bright future. It has wonderful people, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Very good. Thank you very much. We're here today with Bonnie Holt. We being Ruth, Rockwell, and Flo Schneider are here with Bonnie Holt, and she's going to talk to us about her